ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। As all of us know that gurus can be different. Our Gurudev can be different from any other Gurudev of any other society, any other individual. But all of us must accept on this occasion, on this day, that the Guru Tattva is one and the same. The Guru Tattva, the reality of the Guru, the existence of the Guru is an eternal reality. The Guru is present in all three periods of time, past, present and future. So at the outset, let me offer my earnest obeisances, my floral tributes at the feet of Sri Gurudev, and offer my sincere gratitude and thanks to the entire ACPR community for providing me this nice opportunity to be present here and share my thoughts about the philosophy of Professor R.D. Ranade in front of all of you. At the outset, let me tell you that I am doubly privileged as I come from the place, the pious place, the confluence of three pious rivers, Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati, the Triveni, where Professor Ranade used to conduct his sadhana. He himself has said that his philosophical horizon has begun from Prayag. So, I am blessed enough to come from that place, and I happen to be a succeeding fellow, professor of the department where Professor worked earlier. As my colleague Professor Bhim Kumar has already explained to you, that we still carry forward the legacy of retaining the very pious chair of Professor Ranade, and we offer our full tributes in the beginning of each celebration that we commence in the department. So with this background, let me come back to the paper, research paper that I have going to present before you. The title, as has been announced already, that is Professor R.D. Ranade an Advaitic mystic? I am questioning this particular aspect of Professor Ranade's entire career of philosophy on the background that some of the scholars have said that Professor Ranade doesn't belong to the Advaitic school of thought, Sankarite school of thought, but his ideas match with the Advaitic school of thought. My understanding of Professor Ranade so far has revealed me that he is thoroughly an Advaitic scholar, not only in spirit but also in practice. We talk about lived philosophy, practicing philosophy. He is the rarest of the rare philosopher of our country who not only taught in the academia as a professor, as a classroom teacher, but at the same time practiced what he taught in the classroom. We are basically academicians. We are more into rational and intellectual exercise of philosophy. What we teach, hardly we practice. But here is a Gurudev, here is a philosopher of eminent personality, a rare personality indeed, who has practiced philosophy besides teaching in the classroom. So that way, this is what is his greatness. The rarest of the rare figure that we come across in India. So many Indian philosophers we celebrate across the world. But the question is, is there any philosopher in the country who has practiced and has become a mystic, and that too accepted by the devotees who himself has created? The answer is the negative. But here is a professor, here is a mystic who is an exceptional one. So my reading of Professor Ranade tells me that just like the Advaitic mysticism propounded by Adi Shankaracharya not less than 12,000 years back, Professor Ranade also has proved that we could not be less than Adi Shankaracharya's preachings. We can also practice and realize and experience that mystical experience what Shankaracharya has done 1200 years back. And Professor Ranade has proved time and again that here is the mystical experience, lived experience, the realization of Godhead that we could have. So that is why it is said that the main condition of the rational mysticism of Ranade is that we realize God in a rational way. In what sense? We utilize the human faculty called reason. With the help of the tool of reason, we march towards Godhead. But then reason had its own limitations. After some ascension, reason fails to climb farther. Reason is not able to reach Godhead. Then what should be done? What is the way? Gurudev said that we have another highest human faculty, that is intuition, the intuitive faculty. It is with the intuitive faculty that we can reach out at Godhead. Therefore, intuition should be the background of all philosophical activities. Reason is just a tool. Reason is just an accident. But then, reason is there in the background, but it has certain limitations. For example, suppose I wish to cross the Pacific Ocean. Can I cross it by road? Road has its limitation. But then, I aspire to cross over the Pacific Ocean. It should not be stopped. So what should I do? I take a flight. The way I take a flight and cross over the Pacific Ocean, similarly, Gurudev said, we have the highest faculty of intuition by which we can take the flight to Godhead. Therefore, the way the Advaitic teaching of Shankaracharya tells us that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jiva Brahmeva Napara. So with this teaching of Advaitism, Ranade says, your God realization would be proved if and only if you have reached the state of Ananda. Therefore, I won't hesitate to call the philosophy of rational mysticism as Anandism. Ananda is the ultimate goal of life. If in this human life we are not able to attain this Ananda, then it is a clear wastage of resources. Our birth as a human being is completely wastage. It is useless. Therefore, till the last breath we must try our level best to realize this Ananda. From Ananda we have come, and in Ananda we live, and in the end we again go back to Ananda. This is the ideal of rational mysticism. Mysticism has never been irrational. By mysticism, we mean rationalist mysticism. This is what the contention of Professor Ranade. In the conclusion, I would like to say that there are few dialogues of Professor Ranade with some of his close disciples, wherein he says that we are the philosophers of the country. And what is our job? The philosophy of the Upanishads will tell us the job of the philosopher is to realize the ultimate reality, the Brahma, whose nature is Sat Chidar Ananda. This Anandahood has to be realized. Fine, okay, we have realized. Is our work done? Is the work of a philosopher done once attaining the nature of Ananda in a mystical way? Gurudev says very clearly, not at all, our work is not yet done. So what has to be done? What is the responsibility of a philosopher then? Gurudev clearly tells us through his writings that our work will be done if and only if we encourage each and every human being in this world to realize this Ananda. Otherwise, our mission is not yet completed. That is why the goal of human life is again reset by Professor Ranade. That mere intellectual exercise of philosophical theories, propounding new theories, is not going to take us anywhere. Is not going to give us any fame at all. If we could serve the humanity with the help of understanding of this rational mysticism and try to encourage people to have the same realization that we have. That should be the goal of life. So what would be the future of the world? Gurudev again clearly tells us to one of his close disciples that the future of world rests only on the philosophers. So what a great responsibility Gurudev has soldiered upon us that we could realize. It is only the philosophers who can save the country, can save the whole world. Because it is the philosophers who can realize what actually Ananda is, what actually peace is, what is Atma is, what is Anatma is. So therefore, it is the philosophers who are the savior of mankind. There is no doubt that there is only one God. This notion of one God again makes Professor Ranade an Advaitin par excellence. There is only one world. And the world is not different from God. In God there is Aradha. In world also there is Aradha, provided you have the God realization. And there is only one humanity. And these three are one and the same. In what sense? The three of them can give you Ananda provided you serve them. What is the purpose of this service? This purpose, the basic objective of this service is self-realization or God realization. To implant the seed of self-realization is the basic objective of this service. If we do not do this service, again, the human life is a plain vestige. One of his disciples by name, Dandekar, if I am not wrong, in one of his dialogues with Mr. Dandekar, Professor Ranade said that Dandekar, I have no social life, quote unquote. What is the meaning of this statement that I have no social life? Then what kind of life did Gurudev have? Gurudev had a spiritual life. In what sense a spiritual life? Spiritual life is that life where there is only one God realization. The same Godhead, the same self is realized by all. Where all live in the same world and where there is a single humanity irrespective of caste, creed and culture. Gurudev used to live from the very beginning of his career in that world. Therefore, there is no social life for him. And this has to be practiced by all the lovers of Gurudev. And what is the purpose of a philosopher? Again, it is very clear. This practice has to be enriched. This practice has to be universalized. This practice has to be popularized at any cost. Finally, Gurudev says that philosophy is the pursuit of wisdom, not a mere intellectual exercise. He addresses to the philosophers of our country across the globe that it is not a mere intellectual exercise. Propounding a new philosophical theory is not the single assignment that the philosopher is having. A philosopher has to realize the divinity, and which is possible only in classical Indian philosophy. Time and again it emphasizes that it is only Indian philosophy who can take you beyond the logical, rational, intellectual exercise and to discover a new reality which is completely unknown to the world. Finally, I would complete with the statement of Ranade that take it from me, that reality is an ever-existing reality. But even without realizing that also we can say that that reality exists. How that reality exists, how can you say that? Ranade says very clearly that all of us might not have realized God, seen God, but certainly all of us realize that we have our own soul, we are selves. Nobody says I am not, nas me. Everyone says us me, I exist. So that reality is very well inserted into this human body and is residing here. So try to listen to that reality. Try to have a contact with that reality, and finally try to involve in that reality. This is possible only with Indian mysticism. Immanuel Kant of Germany has also claimed in the 19th century that the noumena, two kinds of worlds he distinguished, the phenomenal world and the noumenal world. The phenomenal world is a world of our sense experience, but the noumenal world is beyond, a transcendental world, where all realities like God, self and others live in. So it is Immanuel Kant from Germany who said that the noumenal world exists, God exists, the self also exists, but then it cannot be known by rationality. We have other standards, other ways to realize that reality. So if Immanuel Kant can say like this, without having any kind of God realization, why not Professor Gurudev? Thank you so much.